Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ikmal bin Noor Azmi, and I am the developer for COVID games. So today's video will be a presentations for innovation and creative exhibition for my project, which is COVID the game. So without further ado, we proceed with the project background for COVID game. Before we go the project background, this project is an educational games that will be using a mobile application platform, and the purpose of creating this game is to provide one of the educational method through the game platform. Simultaneously to spread the awareness about COVID-19, where user can use these games to be one of their sources to learn about COVID-19. Instead, maybe they're reading from books, from news and other sources. And this game was named as COVID the game. I developed this game is for public user from the age of 13 and above to learn about the threat of COVID-19. Next, we'll go to problem statement. So for the problem statements, it consists of 3 problem statements. The first one will be the lack of awareness, especially during the pandemic. Some of the community does not aware about the threat of COVID-19, and some of it does not believe about the existing of the virus, and people need to be educated about these issues, such as maybe the symptoms, the SOP during the pandemic and others. Next will be the lack of informations about vaccines. This during the pandemic, there are many types of vaccine that have been introduced, and however, some of the informations are not understandable to the society. Because of that, it caused some hesitations from some communities to take the vaccines, and the hesitancy of some communities about taking the vaccines are linked to the lack of knowledge and awareness about COVID-19. So by providing factual informations about the vaccines might help bridge the gap in knowledge about the vaccines. The lastly will be the learning method is outdated. So the learning method that we using these days start to outdated in the era of modern with technology. So we need to find a new way to improve the learning method, so it's follow the flow of era of the student nowadays. And according to my research, shows that the traditional learning method is outdated because there actually a gap between the students and their innovation thinkings, and because of this, lacking in decision making and problem skills. Next, so we go to the project objective. So for the project objective also consists of 3. The first one will be the awareness. So to spread the awareness about COVID-19 in interactive way. So as we know, COVID-19 is actually a very serious and important issues, especially during the pandemic, and government have used many type of method to spread the awareness, such as from news, social media and others. However, this method does not interest most of the people. And actually, by creating this game, it might help to help it might help to spread the awareness about COVID-19 in more interactive way, where people can entertain playing the games and at the same time learn about the COVID-19. And it actually will be up to the next level to use the educational video games as a new platform to spread the awareness about COVID-19. So next will be the platform. To create a new platform of learning where games can be a new platform of learning, whether related to academic or skills, because video games actually universal, where everyone knows how to use it, especially with the advanced technology that existed nowadays, that make educational games one of the new platform to learn. And also this is one of the method that can approach youngers nowadays. Next will be the multimedia, to provide a new learning approach by using a multimedia elements. As learning can be applied in a lot of methods. Multimedia is one of it, and more in the modern era nowadays, everything is more related to ITs and technologies, and learning is not only into a verbal style, where you need to read and write. Learning can also come in a visual style, and also an oral style, we're using videos, sounds, and music, and others. So by creating these educational games with combinations of visual and oral method of learning, it will provide a new approach, a new learning approach, other than only reading books. So these are some comparison that I use as one of the reference to create the COVID games. So the first reference that I use is from a game called Mario Time Machines, where this game is teaching people about human history. And then the next one will be the Mega Man X Math Tornado, where it teach people about mathematics formula. And then lastly will be the Body Quest, games that just a new game that been introduced by Nintendo Switch, where a game is about teach people about science about human body. So next we go to the methodology. So the methodology that I use for developing these video games is using the prototype model methodology. This prototype methodology is suitable for game developing because you will provide some prototype, and developer will always communicate with their users. And so in this prototype model, we consist of 6 phases. So the first phase will be the requirement gathering and analysis, where we provide some questionnaire or survey by using the Google form. I will send to our users at the age of 13 and above, to find the requirement about what they want in these games, what such of informations that they want, and so on. Next will be the quick designs. So after we got the user requirement, we do some quick designs of our games, such as we design some the main characters, the enemies, the map designs, and other data flow of the games. Next, we will build the prototype. So in this build the prototype will consist of all the functions, but not all function will be run properly, and so maybe certain functions have some issues, but we just want to build the prototype to make sure that user sees what the product what the product that will publish, and for them to play the games. And next, after we build the prototype, we go to the initial user evaluation, where we do some testing with our user, and we will get a review from our user and comment to improve our games. So there may be some fixing, we need to maybe fix some bugs. Maybe we need to put more features in the games and others. After the testing, we will go to refining prototype, where when we fix everything and follow and actually follow back what are the objective of this project. And then finally we implement the products and do some maintenance to make sure the game not crash, though there will no bugs during the gameplay and others. Next, the testing and result. For the testing, we go by user acceptance testing, where we run beta testing, and during the testing 44 user respondents were involved, and they are all have experience in playing video games. So for the testing, the video game have been demonstrated by a record video of how that show the gameplay of the games, and also we provided a link so that a user can experience itself by downloaded the game through the APK. And the feedback was formed and created in Google Form, and the result was visualized in graph. To summarize the user testing, the developer successfully finished the integration testing for COVID games. As a result of the user acceptance testing result, these educational games, COVID game, function in accordance with the requirements and meet all the user requirements. It is ready to use. And next we'll go to the future works. For my future work for this COVID games, actually to upgrade the graphic into the 3D. So the current graphics will be in 2D, and we're using a pixel more to like 2D pixel games. And so nowadays many games have been upgraded to 3D to be more interactive, and user being more interact to play when there's a games that runs on 3D animations. So that will be my first feature works. Next will be provide with more categories of vaccines. So the current category of vaccines in the games now only have 3, which is Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and Sinovac. So maybe after this, for the future, we provide some more vaccine for user to learn. Lastly, able to publish in Google Play Store and App Store. So currently we are trying to publish it in Google Play Store, but have some issues on the Google Play where I try to communicate with Google to to solve these issues, and then after that maybe I start to post it on the App Store, Apple App Store. Lastly, we go to the conclusions. So the conclusions that to summarize it, the creation of COVID the games have met the criteria by fulfilling the goals, although as the student who developed these educational games, it have been a tough journey to manage the project until the finish, to understand what need to be presented for this game development. A lot of research and effort is required, and lot of skills need to improve during this development. During this development, I actually learned a lot during this development of COVID-19 games, where I started to learn how to do animations, designing, and others. That's all for me. We will proceed to a video demonstrations of COVID games. Thank you.